Let's talk a little bit about access to energy today and why this is still a big issue and where we're failing, right? The the result, I mean, after 10 years, if we're looking back, when did, you know, this access to energy, especially renewable energy, really started? It was around 15 years ago. It was seriously 10 years ago where money was start pouring into this industry. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars been spent for the last 10 years into powering Africa, right? So many organizations, so much money, and it's usually around 5% of the company getting most of the money. But the thing is, we have an access today of around between 40 to 50%, depending on countries and depending on average, 40 to 50%. We started at 20%, right? So we had a 20% increase in 10 years. Some people would argue it's good. Some other will argue it's okay. So me, I will argue it's bad, right? Because that number stays stagnant for now a while. And why is that? There's a combination of a few things, right? Population increase. Our population in Africa is increasing dramatically, so access is not keeping up. But the fundamental issue I want to mention is that we haven't deregulated the energy sector. For Africa to achieve our energy goal, we need to deregulate the sector. So for those who don't know, deregulation basically allowing new players to come in and produce and distribute energy directly to the consumer. Right now, that sector is dominated by government. It's run by government, right? If you go to most, if not all, African countries, you'll see that the electrical company is run by government, and most of the time, if not all, also, it's run at a loss. They're losing money. And I've been back 8 years in Rwanda, for example. The electricity cost has doubled, has increased dramatically. So that's also a big issue. But why we haven't deregulated that sector? I don't know. I'm asking you guys, for those who may know, much more connected than I am, might put comments on why, but you cannot have a sector where if you're producing electricity, you have to sell it back to the grid. So let me get back. Why is regulation or why is deregulation extremely important, right? There's so much technology out there now that can solve the energy problem in Africa. The home solar system, I don't see that it's not going to play a big role at scale, right? It has its function. It is important for areas especially that are very spread, where, a grid or mini grid will not work. But home solar system is not going to be the game changer for Africa. We've put so much emphasis, so much marketing, and so much PR behind that. It's great for PR, but at scale and cost-wise, just don't make sense for the user. If you calculate the kilowatt per hour compared to a much, to a mini grid, for example, it just don't make sense. But the fundamental problem of how the infrastructure it's built today in Africa is because it's a centralized infrastructure. So from production to transmission, you're already losing power. From transmission to distribution, the cost it's huge. And then keep in mind that when you produce power, that power you produce on a daily basis, whether it's hydro or any other way, it's not all consumed. So we have no storage system. So basically, we have no efficiency from production all the way to the end user. There's poor efficiency. And, as always, I always talk about that. And I'm not speaking, just like that. I've participated in a lot of talks and roundtables around this debate. And I've seen how we as African, we keep also bringing consultants that they're supposed to give us advice, and they sell us solution, very expensive solution that they're dumping on the continent. And we still don't understand that a lot of the consultants we're hiring come from companies that are selling products and services to make money, not necessarily to, help and give the best advice for the African continent, right? So there is a need of deregulation, number one, and there's a need of decentralizing the energy production, consumption, incorporating storage system. And I'm not talking about battery storage. That's another thing. It's very expensive. That's something that the media and expert and PR has been pushing. We don't even have recycling plants for battery in Africa, at least not that I know of, right? So we're going to bring batteries, and when their lifespan, there's so much technology around flywheel, or technology around storage, compressed air storage solution that are much more efficient, much more cost effective, have zero emission or zero impact on the environment. They're very mechanical system, very simple, not high tech. We're so deep into high tech, we're forgetting that we need to focus on an affordable solution. Technology is not always great. You can integrate tech to a certain degree, but we shouldn't just go by high tech all the time, thinking this is the way it's going to solve everything. But there's a lack of efficiency on the process, for sure, right? And I'm just going to give you an example. The need, now you can put a meter in anybody's home. Actually, that's my home meter here. It's not even a smart meter, but you can know exactly what a home consumes at any given time, build up an average after a year, and know what that home needs, or that neighborhood, or that district, or whatever the case that is. It's possible now. It's very easy to do. It's not inexpensive, actually. Also, when you look at production of the energy, or the consumption, of the energy, residential urban consumption is different than residential rural consumption. Businesses consume differently, pretty much more than residential. So there is different need for different classification. That we just producing, distributing. There's no efficiency on the distribution. There's a lot of energy among the process. And I'm a big believer of mini-grid. I'm a big believer in putting power production and distribution closer to an area, right? To distribute it to a specific area that you can control. It's a modular system that you can build on, right? And that will change if we deregulate, decentralize the infrastructure, make it modular so you can increase capacity as see fit, make it much more smarter. Not only, and build on top of that a storage solution that is not battery. In the next 10 years, we can definitely solve this energy problem and get to 80% much, much easier. There is a lot of concept that is working right now in the US, for example, where you lease equipment for solar equipment. You can even add in some place a small wind system in a home with a storage system and lease it, and they pay, and you become a utility company. Very simple concept, So the owners no longer have to pay up front for the cost, and they just pay just like a utility company to a company that provides a solution to their home. The home of tomorrow should be integrating with solar panels. That should be mandatory. We have. I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if you can. Oh no. No. Anyway, let me not spend too much time. Oh, there you go. See the roof over there? Most of the home across the continent, or anywhere, they have massive roof for no reason, man. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They got like massive roof for no reason. Anyway, nothing on there, no functionalities. I mean, except supposed to be tilt for water not to stay stagnant. But still, it's like a pyramid shape. And you should build a home. Government should make it mandatory where you build a home now with solar panel integrated on the roof automatically. Now everybody needs to be connected to a grid. Some places you can build in solar panel with your own capability of producing your own energy for your own home. I think there's going to be, and when you deregulate, you bring all this innovation, you open the market to innovators and businesses to come up with solutions, to becoming utility companies and finally solve this problem. You'll be amazed when you deregulate something, how much innovation can just burst and increase efficiency and solve a lot of problems, because businesses are there to make money. Yes. I'm not saying deregulation should just let them do whatever they want to do. No. But at the same time, efficiency is at the core of any entrepreneurship. Any entrepreneur, any private sector. You have to be efficient. You have to understand that low cost or affordable is key. And you come up with a whole business model, technology, so on and so forth, to solve that problem. But if you keep regulating and having to go through the government channels that are losing money in these type of businesses, of course, nothing is going to change. You can't be building a solar panel farm and then you're supposed to sell it back to the grid. And let's not talk about our grid on the continent. It's outdated. We're trying to upgrade it. Again, we're going to spend more money. It's like when the infrastructure, the foundation is already cracking, and we want to build solution on top of this cracking foundation. And it's going to fall. It's going to fold at some point. So we need a whole new type of infrastructure. We need a whole new type of deregulation, with, of course, government overseeing some of those deregulation, making sure that there's no abuses and all those things. And I promise you, by 2030, 2031, we'll be at 80% access to electricity. All right, man, put your comments. I know some of you might disagree with what I'm saying. That's been my observation since I've been back. I've been in the sector somehow since we're using renewable energy technology. I've learned a lot, man. I've learned a lot. Oh, and I forgot to mention also, and I'm going to end with this. If we deregulate, we have to make sure that we allow local entrepreneurs first to be able to participate in this ecosystem. I would hate to see, again, a dominance from foreign companies trying to solve this problem, and see a bunch of utility companies that are not African owned, just like in the telecom sector and so on and so forth. So that's another big challenge, man. But anyway, put your comments down. Let me know what you think. And let's hope that something happen in that space. Take care.